And what is up, guys? Technicals Tinkers here, checking in on our little 3D print operation for today. I've been vlogging daily for a few months on this little 3D printing experiment startup. About me, I own a business that has nothing to do with 3D printing, but I saw the potential in this. I like to manufacture stuff, so I'm learning about 3D printers, seeing if I can create products, list them online for sale, sell them, and make a whole bunch of money. Will it work? I don't know, but I'm documenting the process. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. Been doing some giveaways here and there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. So what am I working on today? Well, if you've been following the channel, you know that I've been trying a bunch of different things, and we're gonna check in on the plates and see what we got. All right, let's start over here. So these PAL Sphere phone stands, I had them on the P1P, didn't work out, cut my losses there, put them on the A1, and it seems to be working out just fine. So indeed, it seems like the issue really stems from something in the AMS, just back winding it and putting it back through and then sending it back through because I haven't had a single issue here on the A1, and these PAL spheres are coming out really nice. This silk really makes the difference, I think, with kind of giving it a much better look versus the regular matte style PLA. So I'm not sure how much longer these have. 5 hours left, so these will finish up today. Probably get them listed hopefully tomorrow. Probably put them in as a different type of product. But yeah, really optimistic about that. And if you've been following the process, again, I'm talking about doing a dedicated separate content on the hideaway thing, but you know, I'm documenting it here because it's what I'm doing today. I did yesterday's video I was talking about just doing the top section of that hideaway to match up into the air register for the hideaway concept. I sent it to the wrong printer because I was printing it up here on Cobra 2, which has a 1mm nozzle. I just absent-mindedly sent it to Cobra 4, which has the 0.4mm nozzle with all the 0.1 or with all the 1mm settings. And I didn't realize until a few hours in, I'm like, oh my God. But then I look at it and it did it. It gave it sort of a very odd surface finish, and I'm not sure why, and I'm not sure how it actually came out just fine, but you know, obviously this is just a prototype. This is just for like fitting purposes, so surface finish doesn't matter too much. But yeah, anyway, gonna match this up, put it in the other content. I'll probably put it in this one too, just double up. But we'll take that in the office and see if it matches. So obviously I got some other things here on the P1P, but I was really optimistic about what I had going on the Giga. Now I pulled off that T-Rex skull yesterday, but I thought, what's another model that I really want to print? I really like spaghetti, and I really like sea anemones. So I combined them together. I custom made my own model of a spaghetti sea anemone, and it came out successful here on the Giga. So it's down here. Look at this, beautiful. Came out crispy clean, super perfect. This is exactly what I was hoping for. You know, you put in so much effort into designing things like this, and for it to come out perfect. I mean, look, it's even got the globs on the end, just like I designed it. So I'm gonna put that on the Etsy today. I'm thinking, what do you think? 250, 300 bucks? You know, that's probably 50, 60 bucks to ship at least. Probably want to use a lot of padding, but yeah. So obviously a bit of a fail on the Giga. It was coming out just fine. It was a fused or an assembled model of the Sabertooth cat, pretty big, and it was coming out just fine. It got 3-4 hours in, but then when I woke up this morning and came in here to check on it, it was just a complete pile of spaghetti. So I'm not exactly sure where it failed or why, because the initial part was fine, but I think I'm kind of like, I'm guessing, just using my reasoning powers of deduction, since everything got ripped off the plate, all the supports, the model, everything just got kind of pulled off the plate. I'm guessing something caught or stuck to the print head and this kind of dragged it around. I'm not too sure, but you know, it didn't go that far into the print because I can tell based on how much film is left on that 3-kilogram spool, because that spool wasn't new when I put it in. So overall, maybe 500 grams or so got burned. You know, again, not too worried about it. For this bit, I was thinking of saying it was a spaghetti and pouring marinara sauce on it, and then actually boiling spaghetti and then transitioning to me eating spaghetti as if I'm eating so it was just too involved. It's not, for a daily vlog, that's too much effort for the bit. But anyway, gonna get that going back on the Giga because again, like I was saying, I got my gigantic Elegoo order. It might come today, I'm not sure, I have to look. But in that order is orange, which is slated to be one of the next big prints. And that next big print I did over here on the P1P. So I'm gonna go into a little bit more detail here. Obviously this is a Charmander Pokemon. You can see he's got some big cavities inside. So let's go ahead and pop him off and go in and see what my genius plan is. Come on, one-handed, not one lesson. Mint. All right, and so if you caught yesterday's content, you may recall that I was mentioning, you know, kind of talking about selling stuff that, you know, maybe a lot of people avoid, like Pokemon type figures, and for good reason. You know, I'm not disagreeing with that at all. But like when I look on Etsy, there's like hundreds of different listings for various Pokemon type stuff, and then when I search around for large examples of it, kind of coming up short. Now that doesn't mean there aren't large examples of it. There's, you know, plenty all over the internet, but a lot of them seem to be where people put a lot of post-production in. And I'm not saying there aren't, but generally it seems like there's, you know, people that will print an entire, like, you know, fully formed Pokemon and then go through and like paint it and stuff. And again, if you've been watching the content, you know I'm trying to avoid that as much as I can. So what I did was I found a subscription-based service, and if you're in 3D printing, you're probably familiar with them. There's a lot of them on Thangs, where you pay a subscription fee and you get access to the models. It's most of the people that sell the Slinky Dragons and fidget spinners and stuff like that. Usually they're on a model like that, where you pay a monthly fee and you're allowed to sell their models and you just get access to all their models. So a very similar setup to that, but this person does character advertiser-friendly character models, but in multi-part. And so that's very appealing to me because on the Giga, I'm limited to one color. Now, yeah, I could put stuff in the G code to stop the print and then go and swap the filament. But that's really like if you're doing like painted by layer stuff. Doesn't really work for stuff like this. But his models are broken up to where the parts you can print separately and in different colors. And so if I can print like the main body like this on the Giga 36 inches high, then I could print the smaller pieces on Cobras or the Giga or anything else in the color they're supposed to be in and fit it together. So I'm doing this live. I haven't done it yet. I just pulled the supports off. This is his belly and tail section. We'll see if it fits. Excellent. So that's very promising. You know, again, not ideal, like, you know, this type of product, but a lot of people are interested in this product. And this is one of the more popular characters. I'm familiar with that just because I've lived on planet Earth for the past 30 years. I know Charmander is one of the more popular characters. And so what I'm going to do today is finish up printing this example model. This is as big as the body of a body as I could get on, I did this on the P1P, so on a 256 build plate. So if I would have done it on the Cobra, it could have been a little bit bigger, but really my eyes are on the Giga. I don't have enough orange filament to do it because I imagine doing him 36 inches on the Giga with just, this is just 2 wall loops, lightning infill, very sparse, but it came out pretty solid. So I think on the Giga with a 1 millimeter width, it should be pretty solid. So once that big Elegoo order comes in, I should have sufficient orange because I think I got like it's like 20 pounds of, well, it's 4 or 5 kilogram spools. So 30 pounds of orange PLA. So that should be sufficient to do it. I got a bunch of other stuff too. But then depending on the size, what I might do is size him on the Giga to where the next biggest piece, which I believe is just his belly here, will fit on a Cobra. And so if I scale it based on that, then I know I can print all the parts at once, have them all going at once. And so that kind of brings the total print time way down. Instead of having to print the body on the Giga, wait for it, and then print the belly on the Giga, wait for it, etc. You get what I'm saying. But overall, you know, even without all the other pieces of himself, It's pretty impressive, I think, especially, I mean, not at this size, not so much, but if it was 36 inches tall, you know, again, maybe good for like a kid's room or retail or classroom, whatever. Someone just wants to, you know, their kid really likes Charmander, you can go and get them a Charmander. Additionally, it works for other incorporated products, like if they got a floor lamp or, I don't know, anything else that people use day to day that they could fit into the model. I think there's some potential there. So I'm gonna print the other parts, kind of get a more better example, glue it together. There is some gap here, and you know, I've really just attributed that to this printing on a bamboo, this printing on a Cobra maybe, or maybe the tolerances are left in place on purpose just so it does not too tight of a fit. The scaling is, you know, 1 for 1. These are both 170% of normal. But overall fits in pretty good. And because I'm not sure I really adequately explained it in the daily vlog yesterday, the concept I'm working on for the hideaway thing, this is an air vent. You know, you put your filter in here. I actually bought some. You know, this is, if you have a house with central air, you know what this is. It's where you put, you know, the filter, it pulls in the air, runs through the HVAC, and then it goes back out through the registers. So this, the idea being is that there's a box behind it. This fits into it, and you have essentially just like a hiding spot. If you want to hide stuff in there, it doesn't lock, it doesn't secure or anything like that. But it's a hidden in plain sight kind of thing. If you just need to stash something, or if you want to have like quick access to a personal defense item or something like that, that only really, you know, you would know to look here, you could do that. And so it's kind of like just a little extra thing. And this is made to fit in like in a standard interior wall. If you've just got a, you know, a 2x4 sill plate and that's the only space that you have. But I plan to make an XL version that's kind of longer if it goes into an attic, a basement, crawl space, whatever, just for hiding more stuff if you want. Additionally, again, if this works out, you know, they make these in various different widths and heights. They make like 12 by 24s or even wider ones, you know, but I sized it at 14-14 because the space in between studs is 14.5. So when I kind of printed it out, I was off just a little bit. So I moved the holes and increased the interior space because my plan is to fit this all into one and have it ship like that, pack and ship it like that. So again, just printed up another one with those changes, just sliced it here just so I could do the fitting on there. And once everything gets lined up appropriately, then I could print the full size backing, secure it in here, like decide what I need for screws and bolts and things like that. Put it in a box, maybe put a sticker on it. And then again, it's a product that I could sell in my stores because I'm already selling similar products and also online. Certain variants of this do exist on Amazon, but they're metal, you know, they're like beefed up, but there's not a lot of options. And like the cheapest one I saw was $100. So like with this, if I could find a cheaper version of this thing, which, you know, retail is like $33, it's a lot. Online, I could probably get a contractor pack for less, and then just kind of adjust it from there. You know, if I can do like if I can get like a $50 rip off this, then I'd be pretty happy. So like if you're going to price it just under $100, then I think there's some opportunity there. So that's what's going on in the 3D print space for today. Love to know what you're working on or what you think about all of this in the comments below. Be sure to like the video and subscribe for more content like this. I'm the Technicals. See you next time.